7:45 is your time. Artificial light is everywhere, right? From street lamps to office buildings to your home. And the lights we leave on at night are more than just an energy issue. In fact, they're wreaking havoc on wildlife, ecosystems, even our ability to see the stars.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't even think about.
Yeah,
But this is actually a real issue. Joining us this morning is Dr. Peter Plavchan, a professor at George Mason University and a member of the nonprofit Dark Sky. They track light pollution and its impact on the natural world. Good morning to you. And we want to start with this. Can you explain what light pollution is for viewers who may not be familiar with the term or haven't even thought about this?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me on this morning. So light pollution is the creation of man-made light that goes upwards in direction into the sky, then interacts with the gas in our sky and reflects back down to us, making the sky appear brighter than it normally would be.
Okay, and the ripple effects of this, I mean, as we just touched on, they're quite, expansive here. So how does light pollution affect nocturnal animals? So things like frogs, bats, even birds.
Yeah, let me tell you a story. When I was a kid, I visited my grandmother in New Jersey, and I distinctly remember one night going out in the evening, and I had a jar, and I went out and caught a huge number of fireflies. And it's just a joyful experience. Of course, they didn't poke holes in the jar. They didn't survive the night. But there were tons of them all over. And I wanted to share that experience with my children. I got a few boys, young boys, and went outside a recent summer evening, saw one firefly. And it's one of these subtle things that it just slowly happens that you don't miss it. You don't really catch that something's going on. But the increase in light pollution that we've had over the past few decades has had a tremendous impact on wildlife, human health, and as an astronomer, our view of the night sky.
Now, you just mentioned the fireflies. So if you're talking about fireflies, we got to think that this impacts other insects as well, and which means it has an impact on the ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, it affects a wide range of animals. I mean, there's an example, a dung beetle. A dung beetle actually uses the location of the Milky Way galaxy to help it figure out which direction to move at nighttime. So when it can't see the Milky Way galaxy because of light pollution, it is unable to go in the direction it wants to go. It has these devastating impacts all the way down to the insect level and all the way up to the animal level, from bats being unable to feed if it's too bright at nighttime, to plants and wildlife, as you're seeing here in this visual, where we are artificially extending the lifetime and the natural life cycle of plants, and how that syncs up with birds, their habitats, their migration patterns. It's causing all sorts of havoc across wildlife.
As we're beginning to run tight on time, can you talk quickly about how much artificial light is kind of, not only impacting the wildlife, but us as humans?
Yeah, I had trouble sleeping lately. Now, it might not be because of light pollution, but we have so many lights on now that your body can be affected in producing appropriate levels of melatonin, especially if you're sitting in front of a computer screen or phone screen until late in the night. That's why these software companies have started dimming or altering the colors of your monitors and phones at nighttime to help protect against that. But it's not enough. We have a lot of exposure to light, and it can affect our sleep and cause health problems down the line.
Okay. All right. Well, so before we let you go, what can we do about all this? What can we do to reduce light pollution?
Yeah, so you could start by just looking around your bedroom, for example, and looking at the lights that you have glowing at nighttime. Maybe put a piece of tape over it. When we're talking about the outdoors and helping wildlife, do we really need the lights on at 4 a.m. when we're sound asleep? Probably not. So we can use things like timers. We don't, light that goes up doesn't really help us see anything, right? So keeping the light focused on the ground and the areas that you're trying to see. And finally, the last thing is to focus on redder colors or amber colors, because that is produces less light pollution than bluer lights.
This was such an interesting conversation.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks so much for, joining us this morning. We certainly appreciate it. Again, Dr. Peter Plavchan, professor at George Mason University. I feel like I learned a lot.
Yeah, and not only did I learn a lot from listening to him, now I'm going to go home and tell my kids, see, I told you to turn your phone off when it's time to go to bed because this is affecting your sleep. So now
it doesn't work so well with my 9-year-old.
Well, it's not going to work with mine either, but I'm going to keep saying it.
All right.
So, thank you.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Professor. Appreciate it.